Hi guys, welcome to Savvy Money Show. Me, your host Sean. Today we're having a look at some earnings plays, post and pre, that seem to have, some have gone under the radar, and we're going to have a look at some companies I'm looking at. Now, Lazy Days Holdings. I said before in a post, firstly I want to apologise for not posting as regularly as before. I haven't been well, so reason why. Lazy Days market cap is half its enterprise value, as a P of 4, price to sales of 0.25 and price to book of 1.09. Now, if you go and see its earnings are up 125 million year over year, and you will see that its market cap is 204 million. So this is doing incredibly well. It had a bit of a bump on the earnings, as you can see there, but it's not enough to deter me. I think I didn't go in before earnings because I wanted to see what was happening, because you can see how it's come down quite a bit over the month, as all stocks have, and I think it's providing good value. Now on to the next. Under Armour. You know I like Under Armour and Bgfv. Under Armour has its earnings soon, and market cap is just below its enterprise value, has a PE of 17, forward PE of 25, price to sales at 1.34. So analysts are expecting it to beat its earnings. Why am I expecting it to? You look at the Levi earnings and you will see how they smashed it. I know it's slightly different, but I think this should be a $25, $27 stock, especially when you look at Nike and Lululemon. I just think they've restructured the business, and I think it doesn't belong down here. It's, in my opinion, I think this is good value. It's at all-time lows for the year. Don't forget to hit that lovely like button, and don't forget the sexy subscribe button. A lot sexier than me, just ask the wife. And if you want to be a hero, hit the bell notification. You'll be notified when a new video gets uploaded. And why not check out the links in the description below. If you're looking for a free trading platform, you get a free share worth up to $200, depending on the platform you use, if you deposit a small amount. Disney has a market cap of 255 billion, enterprise value of 296.6 billion. The PE is higher, 126. The forward PE is 30. Now, the thing about this is its parks have always been its main money driver, its main cash cow, and the Disney Plus has been holding it up since then, which has been a fairly new aspect to it. I don't want people to get the Disney Plus numbers if they disappoint and suddenly start selling. I believe Disney Plus is worth $200 on its own. If it was to be split up, you've got one or two people saying how at this price Apple could take over Disney, and I think they could, and I think it would be a great thing for them. But I think I don't think they will, because of all the other aspects to it, the physical aspects that Apple doesn't like holding. They're more in the virtual aspect. Anyway, the thing about Disney is you have the streaming business keeping up the cruise lines and the parks until they come back in full force, and the parks will come back into full force and will they will become a cash cow again. Now, they were fully booked for things like Halloween and that, for special events, so there is still the attraction there. I do just think this is an easy money stock, and I don't say that lightly, as you're probably aware. Now, this is one where Yahoo Finance has the wrong figures. Its market cap is 92 million, well, between 92 and 110 million, depending on the time you're looking at it. But it's still a third of its enterprise value, and it's made 140 million in sales over the last 4 months alone. Has a price to sales of 0.08. They haven't updated the price to book, but then I wouldn't be trusting that anyway, because they haven't really gone into. Yeah, the thing about Redbox is I think they are not looking at the potential here. A lot of people are not looking at the potential. It's increasing its sales drastically, and it's been knocked down drastically with workers, with companies being unable to find workers. This is going to become more and more popular. And not only that, I did a piece about how the House is just done the first step for the MJ bill, and it looks like the MJ bill might be pushed through as long as they don't stop it again. If that happens, I could see a company using these boxes as on the corners rather than having people doing it. And not to mention, there's a huge short squeeze going on with this. Now, this is traditionally for movies and games, yes, but it doesn't have to just be for movies and games. You can utilise it for anything. Now, the thing about this is, remember, Netflix used to send out DVDs in the post. Like, you know, it's about changing your mantra. GLS Holdings also had massively shorted stock. I've played this up and down, but you've got to be careful and get in at the right time. Make sure you jump out. So make sure you're careful with it. And one that I've spoke about a lot is GGPI. It's down at such levels, I'm surprised everyone's not getting in. Now, it's had nothing but good news coming out about it. You know, more and more people talking about it, and I just can't believe it hasn't run, but I do think it will. Sorry, IONQ. I've done a piece on this as well. Now, the IONQ has 3 years of cash runway, and it has been picked up by Amazon. Now, this is massive in my opinion. It's picking up contracts left, right and centre. It's the future, quantum computing, and I'm surprised that no one is looking at IRNQ. When it came down at $7, I did a full piece on this. When it came down again under $10, I said, you know, you need to be looking at this, you know. But this is the world's #1 quantum computing company, and I don't think Amazon are done buying. Now, Palantir, well, if you loved it at $40, you'll love it at $13. And yeah, all those people who unsubscribed when I said I was selling it at 25, you know, it's look, I do think the company has great long-term prospects, and I think now is a good time to get in, purely because the cash on hand and compared to the liability, I think you will see a turnaround. I think the stock-based compensation will decrease, and I think the price to sales, price to book will decrease, and the forward PE will start coming down as well. But the way people look at it is, why pay a company with a forward PE of 60 when you can get Amazon with 50? And I understand that thinking, but anyway. Full Gent Technologies. Spoken about this quite a few times. Seems no one knows what it is. I'm the only one out there doing videos on it. Sorry about that. P of 3. Forward P of 10. Now, it had a forward P of 20 when I started doing videos on this, and I said the analysts were wrong, and they've changed their mind to a forward P of 10. Price to sales of 1.82, price to book of 1.82. Now, I think they'll change their mind again and bring it down even more. Look, the reason the forward P was so high was because the analysts said COVID is going to end, their COVID tests, which is their cash cow, is going to run out. They went from a non-profitable company to a profitable company, highly profitable company, just like that. They ended up with no debt, with $500 million free cash flow, and it's amazing for the company. But the company didn't just rest on their laurels there. They were using the money they were getting from these COVID tests. They announced on December their liver cancer test is available with FDA approval. You know, so they're not someone who's just churning out these tests, although I think they've brought in over $813 million from these tests alone. They are using this money to create other tests, and think how much other genetic companies have risen just on the back of, say, a sickle cell test, and going through the trials for these. And this is something which has gone under the radar. It's according to Simply Wall Street, and I'm not the biggest fan of Simply Wall Street. I've flagged up issues with their system myself in the past. It's trading at 99% below their estimate of fair value. Earnings grew by 1,100%, and they're saying insiders selling, but insiders do sell because they have to pay bills. So when they buy, that's now we'll go down. you see there their fair value, £5,822. Sorry, dollars. Sorry, you can tell I'm English. Now, when they first reviewed it, it was $1,000 a share fair value. You see here how the debt is minimal compared to their assets. It's like 21 million compared to they've got over $500 million cash on hand. So they've got an experienced management team on board, so they've got a huge war chest. If they wanted to, they could go and take over one of the smaller genetic companies, such as BioNano. Not that I think they would do that, but with over 500 million cash on hand, and BioNano currently at just over 600 million market cap, they would hardly have to take on any debt or hardly dilute shareholders to take over the company and diversify if they want to go down that route. But as I said, I brought this to people's attention before Simply Wall Street analysed it. Then they analysed it and gave it a fair value of $1,000, and they've reanalysed it and given it a $5,800 value. So they seem to think it's well undervalued. If you found any of my videos helpful and you want to help me make more, you can support me by buying me a coffee. The link is in the description below.